In 1895, a Korean soldier pulled his queen's burned bones from the ashes. His reward? A noose. But who was this queen? Because depending on who you ask, Empress Myeongseong was either the most brilliant diplomat in Korean history or its most corrupt ruler. What everyone agrees on? Japan decided she was too dangerous to live. They sent assassins to her palace at dawn, and the one man who tried to save what was left of her, they hanged him. For 500 years, queens in Korea's last kingdom stayed out of politics. Myeongseong didn't get that memo. She married the king at 15 and walked into a nightmare. A father-in-law who ran the country and Japan forcing its way in. So what did she do? She played the map. Bring in Russia to push out Japan. Use a distant superpower to scare off the nearby predator. Like getting the biggest kid at school to sit at your lunch table so the bully leaves you alone. And she didn't stop there. She brought in American missionaries, Western advisors, because foreign witnesses inside the palace made Japan think twice. Gojong even built a Western quarter inside Gyeongbokgung, so foreigners were always around. Human shields with diplomas. For a while, it worked. But here's the thing about being smart enough to threaten an empire. Not everyone thought she was a genius. Her own people had a very different word for what she was doing. But here's the other side. Her family ran the government like a private business. Want a position? Pay up. Soldiers went 13 months without pay. Rations were mixed with sand. The troops revolted. She made political decisions based on fortune tellers. One shaman's son got a government job. A genius playing an impossible hand, or corruption gutting the country she was trying to save. One historian nailed it. Her direction was right, but the process was deeply flawed. But while Koreans debated whether their queen was a genius or a crook, Japan had already made up its mind. On September 19, 1895, a Japanese general walked into a newspaper office and asked a very casual question. "Do you know any young men available for a fox hunt?" The fox was the queen. Miura Goro, Japan's new minister to Korea, wasn't a diplomat. He was a lieutenant general, and the men he recruited for what he called a fox hunt? Not thugs, Harvard and UPenn graduates, future cabinet ministers. A government hit dressed as a mob attack. October 8th, 2 a.m. Japanese soldiers drag the king's 74-year-old father from his bed and haul him to the palace. He's the scapegoat. 5 a.m. Gunshots at the main gate. 40 Hulyonde soldiers, a Japanese-trained Korean unit, stand with weapons lowered. They never fire. They're props so Japan can blame Koreans. Ronin storm the inner palace, dragging women by the hair, hurling them off verandas, screaming, "Where is the queen?" A Russian engineer named Sabatin is confronted at gunpoint. He refuses to answer. 5:45 a.m. They find her. Gojong watches helplessly. 45 minutes, that's all it took. But one soldier didn't look away. They poured kerosene on her body and burned it. When diplomat Weber confronted Miura, Miura said, "Trust Japanese word over lying Koreans." Weber's response? The eyewitness wasn't Korean, he was European. Miura ended the meeting. So what happened next? 56 assassins sent to Japan for trial. Surely, after European eyewitnesses, after a 300-page Russian report. Surely someone paid for this, right? 56 civilians charged, everyone acquitted. Insufficient evidence. Miura's lawyer said it in open court. Killing is not murder when done to achieve political supremacy. When they got home? Cheering crowds at every station, the emperor's chamberlain congratulated them at Tokyo Station. Adachi Kenzo became a cabinet minister. Shibashiro became a novelist and diet member. Careers built on a queen's corpse. Remember the soldier from the beginning. Yoon Seok-woo was ordered to dump the remains in a pond. He couldn't do it. He scooped her bones into a cloth, buried them on a hillside, and said nothing for 55 days. When the court admitted she was dead, he came forward. His reward? Hanged. He touched a royal body without permission. Her killers became politicians and national heroes. The man who saved her bones got a noose. Gojong proclaimed the Korean Empire, named her Empress Myeongseong, bright achievement. Yoon Seok-woo was pardoned. Japan didn't kill her because she was corrupt. They killed her because she was effective. 130 years, 0 convictions. Hero or villain? Drop your verdict.